Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen and friends of the media. I'd like to give you a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining us on this rainy day. In a moment, you will of course have your very first chance to see the most anticipated car of 2018, and quite possibly the most anticipated Rolls-Royce of all time, our fabulous Cullinan. 3 years ago, in the pages of Britain's Financial Times, we announced to the world that Rolls-Royce would create an all-new, high-bodied car that would redefine luxury travel by making it effortless everywhere. Earlier this year, we confirmed the new car would be named after the largest flawless diamond ever discovered, the 3,106 carat Cullinan. The two largest pieces of this stone are now mounted on the crown jewels of the United Kingdom. But before we enter the reveal chamber, I would like to take a moment to explain to you just what Cullinan means for Rolls-Royce. Cullinan is a major departure from the norm for Rolls-Royce. With this new car, we are answering the desires of a new generation of customers in a way that only Rolls-Royce can. We may be entering the heavily populated SUV segment, but we are doing so without compromising our values and with no intention of becoming a mass luxury volume manufacturer. We are introducing to the world a new benchmark, the Rolls-Royce of SUVs. With Cullinan, we will keep the Rolls-Royce brand relevant and thriving in the changing marketplace, continuing the success that we have seen here in Japan over recent years and of course worldwide. The new car will play a distinct role for our brand with clear positioning within our product portfolio and in the marketplace. Let me touch on how Cullinan sits within the Rolls-Royce family. Firstly, make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, Phantom is and will remain the ultimate flagship of the Rolls-Royce brand. And together with Phantom, our business saloon Ghost is the second foundation stone of our brand. And when we have our stunning leisure models, Dawn and Wraith, which is just by my side here. Together with Dawn and Wraith, Cullinan provides a third emotional component to our lineup. Our customers and patrons around the world told us that they were seeking an off-road vehicle that offers more than those currently available in the market. They wanted more, but it wasn't there until now. So who is the Cullinan customer? Style conscious, definitely. The Cullinan customer is someone who likes to stand out from the crowd. They are young, active, social individuals with a love of the outdoors and adventure. They are very family focused, living mobile and often sporting lifestyles. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the star of the show. And for that pleasure, please will you accompany me into the reveal chamber. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. The story of this car began over 100 years ago in the era when the Cullinan diamond was unearthed. In a time when our owners frequently took their Rolls-Royces off-road. Think of Lawrence of Arabia traversing the deserts with his armoured silvered ghosts. Or consider the Maharajas who drove through the jungles of India on all kinds of adventures. Cullinan has been a story of many years of research and painstaking design, development and testing by over 500 Rolls-Royce dedicated engineers and designers. It is the next chapter in the story of our new architecture of luxury, which began with Phantom. This aluminium space frame architecture is unique to Rolls-Royce. With this unique architecture as a base, we have forged a strong, powerful and very capable four-wheel drive motor car. We have tested Cullinan in searing heat and freezing cold and over all terrains across our planet. This capability, combined with the peerless Rolls-Royce luxury and comfort, makes Cullinan the pinnacle offering within the luxury SUV marketplace. It will carry you in style across snow-covered roads to your chalet in Nagano for skiing season, and it will effortlessly plough through mud and gravel to reach your favourite riverside fishing spots in Hokkaido. It will also be home on sand and snow, mud, gravel and other rough terrain, as it will be taking you shopping in Roppongi or the Kabuki in Ginza. Thank you very much.
So, good morning and welcome everybody. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce you to the new Rolls-Royce Cullinan and the details of the design, the luxury and of course some of the engineering too. Just following on from what Paul was saying regarding the architecture of luxury, what has this meant at a base? Our customers asked us to deliver a unique Rolls-Royce with off-road capability that was instantly recognisable and totally unashamed in everything that it represents. And so what we have is the ability with this new architecture to create everything exactly that our customers have asked for. We are not restricted in any way by any other car. Our engineers have created everything that our designers put on paper. So the new design language starts with overwhelming presence. This was one of the key factors of Cullinan's face. So starting with the Spirit of Ecstasy, at the top, the highest the Spirit of Ecstasy has ever stood on a Rolls-Royce from Goodwood. Running through into the radiator grille. Here on Cullinan, it sits on the front of the car, almost protecting it like a shield defensively to the front. Running down into the stainless steel skid plates at the front, this really reminds us of the capability that Cullinan holds within. And then to the side, very different design language. We don't have the soft and delicate lines that you would expect from a Rolls-Royce, but something much more sculpted and bold, full of fortitude, that is expected of an SUV with such capability. So you can see big offsets in the body, these horizontal lines carved in, coming either side of that radiator grille, framing it to give the width. So this is the first impression of Cullinan, one of force, one of strength. Housing the laser lights at the front with 600 meters of viewing distance, and by day this silhouette, this daytime running light will give Cullinan its unique nighttime signature, making it instantly recognizable. Naturally, its form in the day will be obvious for all to those that see it. The long, flat Rolls-Royce bonnet, again a cue of our design language as always, houses the 6.75 litre V12 engine. You see how the vapour trails run along the bonnet into the tall glass house, giving that first impression. And that V12 engine has got 563 brake horsepower, 850 newton meters of torque. And this is the really important part of the heart of our Rolls-Royce. This 850 newton meters arrives at 1600 RPM, meaning the power and the torque is instantly available. And this is the signature of our magic carpet ride. So if you'd like to follow me round to the side of the car, I will talk a little bit more about the underpinnings of Cullinan and introduce you to the interior. So please, road SUV, because we are Rolls-Royce first and foremostly. So we would accept no compromise. So that V12 engine at the front is connected to the satellite-aided transmission, which is a 8-speed ZF gearbox that reads the road ahead using GPS, making sure you're always in the correct gear. Of course, our peerless air suspension all around the car is constantly balancing the vehicle to make sure you experience that magic carpet ride. And of course, the rear wheel steer, which we first saw on New Phantom, means that changing lanes at speed will be beautiful and elegant, and the passengers inside will experience almost no disturbance. But we promised you a car that would be effortless everywhere, so on-road is a given. This has been achieved. But we have one button in the car. We don't have lots of controls to choose, am I in the sand, am I in the snow? One button in the center console, off-road, and the car takes on its second personality. So this lifts the car suspension by 40 millimeters, and the all-wheel drive is locked 50-50 into the car, meaning that we have maximum power going to all four wheels all of the time, and the raised air suspension is constantly seeking the ground, looking down, because after all, traction is motion, and this is what means that we are effectively, all of the DNA which gives our car its on-road magic carpet ride is actually the same things that make Cullinan effortless and magic off-road too. So in silhouette, the design, our design team have talked about Cullinan being a high-bodied car. And you can see straight away, unlike other SUVs, we don't have a box shape at the rear. There are long, elegant lines. We start with a fast windscreen line at the front, and like Rolls-Royce's, narrow at the front, tapering to the rear, giving speed to the car. And of course, a balance between metal and glass gives elegance. It's not a tall glass house on top of a narrow body. The car is very, very balanced. And then running down, echoing the coach door handles, we have these fabulous stainless steel spears running almost wheel to wheel in here. And this lightens the appearance of the car without having long flat surfaces. And this raises the eye line. It gives Cullinan the sense of floating, like all Rolls-Royces. And of course, beneath this, the scuff plates, along with the stainless steel spears, help our customers take the challenge to take Cullinan off-road, all while knowing that their fabulous Rolls-Royce paint is protected. And so this means that we have the confidence to do everything that you have seen on the National Geographic Channel, where Cullinan has been tested from Scotland to Dubai and in the Americas. So while we're here, the C-pillar, again, very much a Rolls-Royce signature, and particular to Cullinan, very unique. Here at the back, you see how the rear line drops fast, and it moves out here. We can call this a bustle back or a D-back. And this is a reminder of our history. This is when it reminds us of the touring Rolls-Royces, where the luggage always used to travel on the exterior of the car. And it gave the cars this appearance of a D-back. So as a nod to our history, we've included this design feature, but also it means Cullinan will have a very unique silhouette inside profile, and it adds to the length and balance of the vehicle. So while we're here, I will open up the interior of the car to show you that luxury is not subject to SUV or not at Rolls-Royce. You can see we have this fabulous Arctic white interior. So while the car is tough and robust on the outside, we have a very beautiful Arctic white and elegant sanctuary on the inside. And you can see the full open pore veneer, a very modern treatment to the wood, with the wild contrast to the serene interior, reminding us of Cullinan's potential. Now, the individual seats have got a number of features that I would like to point out to you. First of all, you can see the seats in the rear sit higher than those in the front. This gives these passengers pavilion view, not only through the side windows, but they have a clear view over the front seats and through the front windscreen to the adventure ahead. Of course, fully functioning with massage and all of the other controls you would expect from one of our luxury Rolls-Royces. And housed between the centre, we have the centre console, which holds glassware and fridges. And if I just open it up here, you can see we've even put a champagne bottle in so that you can really enjoy your journey home. And finally, and incredibly uniquely to Rolls-Royce, the glass screen behind the rear headrest. You'll have a chance to have a look at this later, but in the spirit of being a three-box concept, this glass partition separates the cabin from the boot space, meaning that your climate in here on a hot and humid day, your air conditioning remains perfect in the car, so when you arrive at the hotel or the shops and somebody is loading or unloading your belongings, your environment stays perfectly as you wish it, and none of the exterior environment, wind, dust, etc. will blow into your beautiful Cullinan and upset your interior. From a technology point of view, the latest USB-C charging sockets have been added to either side of the doors, and also behind the picnic tables, for the first time in a Rolls-Royce, we have touchscreen technology. So these new customers that will be coming to the brand who are much more used to using touchscreen will now have the choice of either the rotary controller in the centre or touch control in the screens here and also in the screens at the front. Now, we talked about the effortlessness of Cullinan, and this includes getting in and out of the car. So here you see the car is in actually its access position, it's low mode. This means we have a narrow threshold and a flat floor, all deliverable by the aluminium space frame. This allows us to make a car which is easy to get into, and with the car in low mode, it's lowered down, making getting in and out much easier. And actually, on the point of getting out of the car, you see how the door skin here is lower than the body. It covers the interior of the car. So when you arrive at the Opera, when you step out of the car, your clothes are not in contact with the dirty exterior of the car, so you will always remain clean and presentable and elegant on arrival. To the front, the centre console here, this is where the off-road button is held. Like I said, one button and the car will do 80% of what you really need to do off-road. If you wish to fiddle with some other controls, you can go further and deeper into off-road mode, but really everything you need is effortlessly at the touch of one button. And finally, that story of luxury, the unique Cullinan feature is the box grain leather that runs across the centre panel. Now, this box grain is the ancient art of working with leather. It was developed in the early 1900s, where we engrave a metal roller and push it onto the leather to give you, you'll see this later, this beautiful fine texture. Something that is more used to luxury luggage, but it's in fact very robust. So what better signature material to use for Cullinan than something is both luxurious and robust, exactly like our Rolls-Royce Cullinan itself. So we'll take a little walk to the rear of the car. So here, the trunk clasp is now open, revealing the cabin space. You have another view of the glass screen at the back, protecting those occupants, but the real star of the show is here in the boot space. This is a totally removable module so that you can have all of your trunk space, but here we have it's a module in which you can ask our bespoke team to put certain features that you find incredibly special to yourself. However, here we've included something which you have seen in pictures, but I'd like to show you in real life, the viewing suite. So now, with the seats in place, You can collect your freshly chilled champagne from the rear of the car. You have arrived at the top of the mountain. You have a fantastic sunset, hopefully someone special to share it with. And from the viewing suite, you can really travel in style, arrive in style, and really these really are the best seats in the house at any occasion. So we'll have some time to come back and spend with this Cullinan, but what we want to show you is actually two Cullinans today. So this is very much an urban chic configuration that we believe our current customers are used to seeing and ordering. But what we'd like to show you is something that our new customers that we're expecting to see to the brand might order. But I must point out that both cars, even though we have beautiful Arctic white leather and a very luxurious feel, are equally capable of going through the dunes, the desert, the jungles, the snow as each other. So if you follow me to the other car, we can show you our second interpretation of Cullinan. That represents the daring and outgoing nature of the new young customers coming to the brand, but also delivering them the luxury and uniqueness that they are looking for in their SUVs. So if I open the door, you can see we have the 5-seat configuration as the first Cullinan we've seen. But here we have the 5-seat configuration where for the first time in a Rolls-Royce, the seats can fold down. And this can be done very simply from the buttons in the door, where the seats can be folded down. And you'll see they just pause in order to move incredibly flat. Because as we said earlier, our young adventurous customers looking for sporting activities will look for that flexibility that they enjoy in their current SUVs, but now they can have that same versatility and flexibility combined with luxury in the way only Rolls-Royce can deliver. So we'll step round to the rear of the car for the last pieces of information on Cullinan. Grab the other car. So we can see now the full space available to our customers in the rear of the car for any of their recreational objects that they need to take with them. So you will notice at the rear there is a bulkhead, and this is there to stop any items from travelling into the body of the car when they're driving along or braking. But should you need to load any longer items into the trunk space, such as skis, we've inserted a very unique button just here, and you can see the boot floor raises, meaning you have a smooth ramp through in order to load those longer items into the trunk of the car. The parcel shelf here is removable and will fit into a compartment under the space, under the floor, and this gives you an increased boot volume from 560 litres going up to 600 litres. But of course, when you want to put the seats back, you don't need to go to the front doors. You can do that once more by simply pulling the buttons at the rear, and the seats will move into position and come back up. So here we go, the car is in position, ready to take its 5 passengers on their next adventure. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure sharing the 2 new Cullinans with you, and I hope that you enjoyed this historic moment of Rolls-Royce motor cars, bringing the latest and greatest luxury to the SUV segment like I've never seen before. I thank you.